Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the 2020 King City Council Candidates Virtual Forum. Tonight, the virtual forum will be moderated by Eric Schmidt. So I'd like to introduce Eric Schmidt, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful forum tonight. So Eric, why don't you take it away? It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Mayor Gibson. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the honor of being able to be your moderator tonight for the City of King City's Candidates Forum virtually. 4 residents of King City are seeking 3 seats on the City Council this general election 2020. During the course of this Candidates Forum, each of them will have an opportunity to introduce themselves to you, the voters, and they'll have an opportunity to tell us a little bit about why they are seeking a seat on the King City City Council. Those opening statements will be 2 minutes in length. TVCTV producers will have a timer on screen to ensure that we stick to time. Following the opening statements, I will ask a series of questions that were prepared by me, the moderator, and vetted by Mayor Gibson. Each candidate will have the opportunity to answer each question, and each candidate will get 1 minute to answer that question. Again, TVCTV producers will have a timer to indicate the time left for the answer. When we've reached the end of the prepared questions, or we reach 5:50 p.m., whichever comes first, then we will ask each candidate for a 2-minute closing statement. Again, a timer will be shown. With that, I would like to introduce you to your candidates for the King City City Council. They are Shawna Thompson, Smart Ocholi, Gretchen Buehner, and Kate Mohr. So, candidates, start your engines. Here we go. Your opening statements, please. And we will begin with Shawna Thompson. You have 2 minutes. And I'm afraid you're going to have to be unmuted. Can you look at the little bar underneath the box on your screen, and you should see a little microphone? Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right, I'll start over. Hi there, I'm Shawna Thompson. I was appointed by the mayor and the council to the King City Council in May of this year to fill a vacant seat that's term expires at the end of this year. I've enjoyed my short time on the council so far, and I'm running for re-election to continue serving our community as an advisor and a representative of our city. I am joined tonight and on November's ballot by 3 other very well-qualified candidates. And in all honesty, any of us would be great council members. If I were to have one piece of advice to those of you tuning in tonight, it's simple. Please vote. Vote early, whether you're mailing your ballot in or dropping your ballot off in the convenient ballot drop box at King City's City Hall. Just make sure that you vote. Your vote really does count. Thank you for having me tonight.
You've got a minute left. If you'd like to use it, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, sure. I am a realtor here in the King City, Tigard area. I'm from Oregon. I'm a 5th generation Oregonian. I love living in King City. I live in the Edgewater community of King City. My experience as a realtor for the last 15 years gives me a really unique perspective as a city council member. As far as the urban growth boundary and expanding our city, I would really like to help shape the way that is going to look. And with my expertise in real estate, I can really help advise on what makes a community great and how that community should look moving forward and growing. And I think I'm done.
Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Smart Ocholi, you now have 2 minutes for an opening statement and introduce yourself to our voters.
All right. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Well, thank you again, Mayor Gibson. Thank you for putting all this together and working with the crew and the team. And I really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Smart Ocholi. I am a King City resident since 2009. I've been on the City Council since 2015. I am married to my lovely wife, Mary, and we have 2 kids, Zion and Kezia. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army, and currently I'm working as a supervisory electrical engineer with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And I love service. I love all my life. I've always looked for opportunities where I can contribute to the community where I live and everywhere or everything else that's going on around me. That way, I'm not sitting on the bench. I just want to be part of that team that is working on things to make the community better. I've been doing this almost 25 years now. I've been involved in a number of things. I've volunteered everywhere I had the opportunity with the FBI Infograd, helping to keep our infrastructure safe and secure. Previously with the Boys and Girls Scout Clubs of Portland, the Hands of Greater Portland, and other organizations out there. I have done, I'm very proud of what I've achieved with this great team on the City Council, and I look forward to the opportunity to continue working on other greater developments that are going on in the city. We're a growing city. As we continue to grow, we'll keep having more people moving in here, and the need for us to continue to grow and develop plans and accommodate what's going on. I'm really excited about this opportunity, and I look forward to your vote. Like Shawna said, yes, please go out and vote and make sure you do it on time. And I really appreciate it, and I look forward to this opportunity to discuss with my fellow candidates here. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I look forward to the discussions here.
Thank you, Mr. Ocholi. We appreciate it. Gretchen Buehner is our next candidate up. 2 minutes, please, to introduce yourself and tell us why you're running.
Good evening. I'm Gretchen Buehner. I'm currently on the King City City Council. I was elected in 2016 and started my service on the council in January of 2017. I previously served on the Planning Commission, and prior to that, before moving into King City, I served on the Tigard City Council and Planning Commission from 2001 through 2014. I also am a fifth-generation Oregon resident. One of my 3 times great-grandmothers was born in the covered wagon coming across from Eastern Oregon. I am a real estate land use and estate planning lawyer. I'm getting closer to retirement, but I'm really committed to being involved in this community. I've been a volunteer since the 1980s when I first got out of law school. I'm very interested in what's happening in King City. We are looking at a tremendous opportunity for growth, the opportunity to develop a new community from the ground up. It's very, very exciting, and I think it will bring a whole new set of opportunities to the city of King City, and I look forward to continuing to serve as your city councilor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buehner. We appreciate that. And now we turn to Kate Mohr for our last opening statement. Ms. Mohr, 2 minutes, please. And you're going to need to unmute as well.
I do spend a lot of my day muting and unmuting myself. Thank you for the reminder. I am happy to be here, and I would like to thank TVCTV and Mr. Schmidt and Mayor Gibson for facilitating this today. I'd also like to thank my fellow candidates for being here with me today. It's nice to have all 4 of us in one place. I'd like to tell everyone a little bit about myself. I have lived in King City for 10 years now. And during that time, a lot has changed in my life personally, a lot has changed in the country, and I have seen so much change in our city. I am a business owner, I'm an educator, I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a daughter, and I'm your neighbor. If I haven't gotten to know you yet, I sure would love the opportunity to do that. I have a background in education. I have taught preschool, I have taught elementary school, I have taught middle school, and I have taught adults as well. For a time, I ran an early learning center in downtown Portland, so I know very well about how to manage moving parts. As I said, I'm also a business owner. And as an educator, I definitely have a lot of experience negotiating and keeping track of different people's interests and communicating as well. I have a lot of skills that I could bring to the city of King City if you'll have me. And I would absolutely love the opportunity to work with the rest of the council to move our city forward. I'm currently on the King City Planning Commission, and I am very excited about the planned growth that we have in our city. I also think it's incredibly important that we honor our past and we pay attention to our existing communities while we integrate it with the new community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll resist the temptation to tell any Zoom jokes tonight, but I've heard quite a few over the last couple of weeks, so I think we've all reached the saturation point. Nevertheless, I really appreciate all of you for being with us tonight. That really shows a willingness to step up and serve. So let's go to the questions. Each question will get a 1-minute answer from each candidate, and we will begin with this question. Are you comfortable with the transportation grid and transportation plan in King City, or does more need to be done to improve access and movement? And Mr. Ocholi, you get the first crack at 1-minute answer.
Thank you for that question. I really appreciate the focus on that. Again, like we have all mentioned here, we are a growing city. And as we continue to grow and more people move into the environment and our community here, we need to find ways to make sure that it's easy for us to get mobility around. We don't want to have like congestion of traffic, or we're overburdening the ones that we have right now, which will cost more to fix or maintain. And so I am in support of any negotiation, any type of discussions we'll have, and work with all the other agencies and organizations that are at the state level and federal and every other level that we can work with to make sure that we provide citizens the right roads and the roads that are that provide us accessibility to areas that we need to go and not have any kind of congestion. So I'm ready to work on that with the city council, and I'm very excited about the opportunity to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Buehner, you have 1 minute. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. King City was originally built way out in the country, and therefore the traffic pattern only had to address access to 99W and access within the community. As the city has grown, it has created traffic patterns. Parts of our community cannot get to downtown except by going out of their local community and driving either down Fisher Road or Beef Bend Road to get to the our downtown city hall. There are tremendous issues with respect to transportation planning that need to be done. I know that they've been working on our current status with our TGM grant, our Traffic Growth Management Grant, but I'm looking forward to how we can address some of the traffic issues that exist in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buehner. Appreciate it. Ms. Mohr, you're up next. Would you like me to repeat the question? Again, we have to unmute. We have to unmute in order to be heard.
That'll be, I'll be memorable for this. The one who didn't unmute. Thank you. Transportation is such a tricky issue because not only are we talking about cars, we're talking about cycling, pedestrians, public transportation. In the general King City area, in this part of Washington County, we could use another look at some of our public transportation. We do reach some main arterials such as 99 and some of the other highways around here, but getting into some cities is a little more complicated. In addition, there's a lack of places to park a car in order to take public transportation, or secure places to lock a bike if you want to ride your bike to a stop and take public transportation there. I know that as our city grows, our roads will have to change, and a lot of planning will need to go into that. It's important to me that we do it thoughtfully and methodically and with input from our residents.
Thank you. And Ms. Thompson, last question. 1 minute for the answer, please. And you too need to unmute.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Actually, would you mind repeating the question? Sorry.
Not at all. Are you comfortable with the transportation grid and transportation plan in King City, or does more need to be done to improve access and movement?
Great, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to call attention to a mailer that everyone should have received. Oh gosh, look at, you can't see that. Can you see that? Anyway, it's a mailer that the city sent out. It's a survey actually that the city sent out. I just wanted to draw your attention because, you know, we all get so much mail. We get inundated with so much mail these days, especially with the election coming up. But this is really important because this will help shape kind of what the transportation plan could actually look like. We really do want your feedback. We didn't send this out just for fun. We really want to know what's important to the residents, and there's a section in here where you can mark intersections or streets or any place that is that you see as a safety concern. So I think it's a neat tool that the city has sent out for all of us to have our voices be heard. And so please do fill that out and return it. I believe it's free postage to send it back.
Thank you for that. Okay, our second question, and the first answer will go to Ms. Buehner. The question is, do you support defunding the police department? If you do, how would you propose protecting homes and businesses in King City? If not, why not? 1 minute, please.
I certainly do not support defunding the police. We need the services they provide for serious crimes, for traffic accidents, for domestic violence, and other services. What we do need is a look at what services police should be providing. Should we also be having other professionals involved with some of the items that police currently handle? For example, dealing with folks with mental crises. Should we get help from other professionals? There are a number of areas that could be useful in terms of getting some of the jobs the police are currently being asked to do to get to the jobs, keep them with the jobs that they're supposed to be doing. Thank you.
Tough question and a 1 minute answer. Ms. Mohr, you're up next. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. It is a tough question and a 1 minute answer. The thing I'd like to highlight is that the term defunding the police is widely misunderstood. Defunding the police absolutely does not mean getting rid of the police or necessarily even giving police less money. Defunding the police refers to actually what Councillor Buehner was alluding to, and that's an analysis of the services that police officers provide and where we can supplement those services and what other funding is needed for our residents to keep them safe and healthy. So when we talk about defunding the police in that way, and we're talking about taking another look at the services that police officers are trained to provide and will provide, and then actually adding resources, I do support that.
And guess what? Guess who forgot to unmute his mic? Ms. Thompson, you're up next. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Sure, go ahead, please. Thanks.
Okay. Do you support defunding the police department? If you do, how would you propose protecting homes and businesses in King City? If not, why not?
Thank you for that. You know, honestly, I think Councillor Buehner and Kate Mohr answered it beautifully. I couldn't agree more. It's a very complex issue. No, I don't support defunding the police, but it is a complex issue like Kate spoke to, in that a lot of people have misinterpreted what defund means. It really means take a different look at it. Our police, we can't survive without the police, right? We have to have police. Nobody believes that we shouldn't have police. It's basically where should the funds be spent? So I don't know if I have a lot to really add to answer that question, because the two candidates before me answered it so well. So I'll just say that I concur with both of them on their answers. And I have 5 seconds left, so I'll just say thank you very much for the opportunity.
You bet. Thank you. Mr. Ocholi, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. Again, I agree with all the candidates. I mean, great points here added to a very, very important topic. We always talk about safety and security being key in King City. Whenever we deliberate and talk about anything, we always put safety and security of our citizens first. I mean, again, the police, great team. We've had a great department, great hiring process by the city manager and the chief and everyone. I mean, we have a great team. And I think, if anything, we should make sure that we provide more opportunity for the police to interact more with our citizens so that we get more familiarity. The police know our people and we know the police. And that way we have that communication, we have that connection, that bond. That way, if any problems come up, they're familiar with the citizens and the citizens know their police officers. I've seen our police officers do a great job. They're on the street talking to citizens, they're talking to our residents and all that. So I think it's not I don't support that idea to defund the police. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will state for the record that while I forgot to unmute my mic, I am wearing pants. So I just want to get that out there. All right. Our third question, we will begin with Ms. Mohr. And that question is, has the current King City government process adequately dealt with the hardships imposed by the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic?
Thank you for that. Coming off of my giggle from your comment here, I think that our city particularly has been hit hard with the with COVID, because cities have been asked to do so much in response to COVID. They've been asked to let citizens know what their resources are. They've been asked to make sure citizens are safe. And as a growing city, we have a smaller amount of personnel to do those things. So our city council has stepped up to really help get the word out. We've had volunteers in our city that have helped to let residents know what some of their resources are, to make sure that some of our elderly residents have access to food and medication. And so I think that our city has done a fantastic job with the way that they've managed everything.
Thank you for that. And we go now to Ms. Thompson for your answer. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have a minute.
Question.
Yeah, go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think the city has done a great job. I know that it's been really overwhelming, and they've really done an amazing job. I think they've all been working, 10, 12-hour days since probably March. And I just really want to applaud them and recognize them for their efforts. But I also think it's important to recognize people like Kate Mohr, who stepped up as a volunteer during the pandemic and really helped us out as a city, putting the word out as to what resources were out there for residents and citizens. And I thought that was a great example of a good citizen. So thank you for doing that, Kate. We appreciate you.
And thank you for your answer. Mr. Ocholi, you have a 1-minute answer for us. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. Again, I agree with the two candidates. Great job by the city manager and the city staff. Everyone did tremendous work on trying to keep the city running and providing services to our citizens. I mean, it's reduced services, but then we're just trying to make sure, again, like I mentioned earlier, keep everyone safe. Safety is number one. And we always look out to make sure that our staff are also protected, providing them with all the gears they need and making sure that we have all the social distancing and all the safety materials that's needed in the council for when customers come in. And I think the chief and the officers have already done a great job doing their part to make sure they also stay safe. So again, overall, everyone has done a tremendous job, and we appreciate the citizens being patient with how services have been provided under these constraints, and we really look forward to feedback for how we can do things even better. So I really appreciate all the efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Buehner, 1 minute. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. I think my co-candidates have adequately and wonderfully outlined the programs that have been done to help citizens here in the community. I'd like to speak to the business community, and we've had an opportunity to apply for a couple of grants that will allow businesses to get short-term loans to help them to survive through this very difficult period. We need to be supporting our businesses, particularly the restaurants who have had to basically shut down for a considerable period of time. And I think the city has done its best in terms of providing what services we can to help those businesses survive through this pandemic. Thank you.
We're all in it together. This next question will go to Ms. Thompson first, and the question is, does King City need to grow to survive? 1 minute, please.
Can you repeat that? No, I'm kidding. I already forgot. No, does King City need to grow to survive? That's a great question. I don't know if I have a great answer for that, to tell you the truth, but what I do know is that we are growing, and that I want to be on board that train to help guide what the city will look like as we grow. As to whether or not we have to, I don't think I have an eloquent answer for that. But we are growing, and we are going to focus on making sure that we have plenty of affordable housing for people. That's very important, and make sure that the transportation system plan is in place to make sure that we grow without too many growing pains.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Ocholi, does King City need to grow to survive?
Yes, thank you for the question. Again, when we went to the process of doing the urban growth boundary that we talked about earlier during our introductions and everything else, we did mention that by becoming a welcoming place for all, King City has become an incredibly desirable place for people to live. And we've seen that influx. I mean, again, when I moved to King City in 2009, I think the population was about 2,500. I think we're way close to about 5,000 now. I mean, the last census and everything else that we're looking at, it's a growing city. And as we continue to grow with the incredibly wonderful retirees that we have, they kind of create that, we adore them, and they kind of give us the inspiration. And people are moving in, young families, all types of families are moving in here. I think we need to make adequate preparations to accommodate that growth. And so, yes, I think we're on the path to growth, and we should be open to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Buehner, does King City need to grow to survive?
Well, there's two ways to look at the question. One is the joy that has been discussed by my prior candidates as to how we want to be a welcoming city, and we are a welcoming city. There are, on the other side of the coin, the current tax system that we operate under does not do justice to cities who are not growing. And for us to be able to survive, not today, but 20, 30 years from now, yes, our tax system will require that we continue to grow. And I think we will grow in a wonderful way as we're doing the careful planning and being that inviting city that Councilor Ocholi was mentioning. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Mohr, the last question, or the next question goes to you. Does King City need to grow to survive?
Thank you. I do think that without growth, King City could survive for a time. We don't know how long that would be. We don't know how limited the tax funding would be, or how long it would take until the city can't maintain itself. What I do also know is that King City must grow in order to evolve. So we have an opportunity to evolve our city through careful planning and through measured growth. That includes opportunities for all of the residents of the city to enjoy new green spaces, new neighborhoods, and a new business area. We want to make sure that we are keeping our awesome residents and our great businesses that we have and attracting new businesses to our town, to our area, to our city in order to help that help sustain King City for many, many years to come.
Mr. Ocholi, this next question begins with your answer. And that question is, what kinds of business activity would you like to see increase in King City?
Thank you for that question. Right now, we have a representation of pretty much all categories of the businesses in the King City area. But again, like we all kind of said, we are open to growth. As we get more people moving to the area, services will be needed. And again, right now, we are discussing with the businesses around. We're discussing with everyone to see the opportunity. And like we look forward, as we're looking forward to continue to expand, we're also kind of opening up to other opportunities and making that pitch to see if at all we'll have the right businesses that will be able to move into the area. And we're also open to the citizens also, like Shawna kind of mentioned earlier. We do send out information, and we do invite people to come to our city council and bring ideas and suggestions of businesses that they want to see come into our environment. I think we are a city that is really open to a lot of opportunities, and we're really open to businesses. I've seen a number of them that come up recently, and we're glad to have businesses come around. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Buehner, what kinds of business activity would you like to see in King City?
Well, we are planning to develop a town center down toward the other end of our community. And I would love to see us get a medium-sized grocery store to serve our new residents that will be living in that area so that they don't have to drive a car to get a quart of milk or a head of lettuce. And I would also like to see us get a library. Now, that's obviously a nonprofit, but I'd like to see us get a branch of the Washington County Library. I'd like to see us get a fire station. We have a wonderful fire station here in the old part of town, but it'd be wonderful to have another station down in our newer part of town. Thank you.
Mr. Schmidt, I think you're muted there. Shawna and I can flip a coin.
Okay, well, actually, it's you, Ms. Mohr, so go for it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. In addition to all of the businesses that Councillor Buehner and Councillor Ocholi mentioned, I would really like to see more service businesses, so some more branches of our different county social services for our residents to enjoy. I love the idea of having a library. I can even picture a small little library. I also really like the idea of having some kind of community center. Our King City Civic Association does have a community center for its residents, and it would be really nice to see something like that develop in King City for King City residents and surrounding residents. Sherwood has a YMCA. There are some private clubs in the surrounding areas, but there isn't necessarily a community center that is nice and close and tucked in with us. And I look forward to helping businesses grow in King City.
And Ms. Thompson, the same question goes to you.
Thank you. So in my perspective, what's important to me as we look towards the future is walkability. So when I think of businesses that I would like to see, I would love to see businesses that I could walk to from my home very easily for a cup of coffee or a quart of milk, like Gretchen mentioned. Right now, the closest thing to me is Dairy Queen, which is very dangerous. It's a mile. I can walk there, but it would be really great to have more restaurants, coffee shops, mini mart type, somewhere you can run in and grab a sandwich, a cup of coffee, or a quart of milk. Those kinds of places, like or a corner mart, would be great. I'd love to see more of that development happen in our future. Walkability, as you all know, is so important in a community. Bikeability, walkability, and safe access to do that. So I would like to help guide us in that direction.
Thank you for that. We appreciate it. The first answer to the next question goes to Ms. Buehner, and that question is, what is needed to get more involvement in King City government by the community?
That's a question that all of us have been pondering for several years. We have done charrettes. That is an open house where people have an opportunity to participate in brainstorming what kinds of services they would like. We obviously have open city councils. We send notices out in the mail. I think that doing Zoom style meetings might be the best opportunity that we have to do outreach to our current citizens, as that would allow them to participate without having to leave their home, as there are a number of citizens who have physical limitations that make it difficult for them to come even to a daytime meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Mohr, your answer, please.
Thank you very much. I think that everything starts with relationship building and an invitation. Mayor Gibson has done a great job of getting out into the community and getting to know his neighbors and the citizens in the community. And that, I think, has really helped encourage some people to become involved as well. I have lived here for 10 years, and during the first few years, I didn't have any idea what was going on in the city. And over the past 5, 6, 7 years, I have noticed that our city government, our council, has done a really good job of reaching out to the community. I also agree with Councilor Buehner about Zoom calls. Virtual meetings are actually great. They're a really great way for people to be involved when they can't physically be somewhere. So someone that might have a physical limitation, or someone that is home with a newborn or working downtown until 7 o'clock. We can have everyone join.
Ms. Thompson, your answer, please.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, both of what my fellow candidates have said thus far. And Kate, I just want to echo what you said. A lot of it is relationship building, and because of the world we're living in right now, people are home a lot more. People are looking at their phones a lot more. People are on social media a lot more. Maybe it'd be a good opportunity to take advantage of that and reach out virtually to our residents, whether it be on social media or through the King City website. I think the Nextdoor app is really popular a lot among lots of different generations. So maybe we should be looking at a different way to engage with our citizens and encourage them to become more involved. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Ocholi.
Yes, thank you for that question. I agree with all my fellow candidates here. Great opportunities in technology that we have today. Kudos to Ronnie and everyone behind the scenes putting things together to help us to take advantage of the technology we have today. And I agree that we can use that and make it possible for our citizens to have other means of getting access to what we do. And we have, the candidates have said, we have open opportunity for everyone to come participate and contribute their input. Great other opportunities that we've been looking at is like independence celebration, golf tournaments, and other things that we do that we kind of want to make it accessible for those. And those are holiday periods that we think will give the citizens opportunity to meet the city council and also meet other staff. And so we look forward to the citizens taking advantage of everything that we are providing them to reach out and, like the other candidate said, that relationship and continue to communicate. Thank you.
The idea of virtual meetings is a great idea as long as we can teach the American people how to unmute, me included. I think we're all in that boat. We'll begin the questioning or the answering for this next question with Ms. Mohr. And the question is, what will you do if elected to the City Council to improve communication with city residents and taxpayers?
Thank you very much. We talked a little bit about this during the last question. I think that to improve communication, we are going to need to enlist some volunteers. We mentioned before that our city staff is very wonderful, hardworking staff, and it is difficult to stay on top of social media platforms. For example, many larger cities or other businesses are able to have someone dedicate part of their time just to reaching out to the community or reaching out to their stakeholders. They're able to post things on Twitter and Instagram, and I don't know if Snapchat is still a thing, and Facebook, and update websites and do all of these things simultaneously, in addition to getting mailings out. So I think that we'll need to come up with a volunteer team of trained people to be able to help get communications out to our residents as we grow.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson, your answer, please.
Yeah, I agree with Kate. I'd love to see a high school intern come on board and help us out with the digital media, because as I'm sure all of my fellow candidates and everybody watching knows, the kids know that stuff way better than we do. So what they can accomplish in 1 hour would take me 30 hours. So I just think that, and we have discussed something similar to this in some of our council meetings, and looking at how that would work. I don't think it's something that we've actually done before. I could be wrong, but I think it's something we should look into, and I'd be happy to take on the task of looking into it. And what a great opportunity for a high school student to be able to work with City Hall and with the City Council. And what a great opportunity for us to take advantage of their little brains, their big brains.
Big brains,
Thank you.
exactly. Thank you. Mr. Ocholi, your answer, please.
Yes, thank you. I agree with my fellow candidates here. We want communication is key, right? I mean, my days in the military. I mean, if you don't have the right communication and being provided, you're bound to become your own enemy to yourself. So I agree with my fellow candidates that we need to work on using the tools that are available to us, and also provide developmental opportunities for our youths out there, and harness their expertise and their experience, their skill set, and try to use that to what we can use in the city. And that way we're engaging even citizens that are like growing up, and that will become part of them participating in what we do in the city. And so they're also they can also be the launching pad for us, reaching out to the families and other people as well in the community. And we're always open to kind of welcome ideas. We're always open to welcome suggestions and whatever the citizens are able to provide to help us make it better to provide services. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Buehner, your answer, please.
Well, I agree with everything that's been said, but I also think using my own 2 feet that I can be involved in a lot of outreach. I walk the community. We have a tremendous number of walkers in the King City area. I probably see 50 to 60 people every day when I go out to walk, and they will stop me, ask questions, ask for things. I can pass that on to staff and get back to that citizen with the information. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, again, to get to know my constituents. So not only should we be using all the technical devices, but we can use our own feet and hands and phones to talk to our constituents as we go along.
Thank you for that. Ms. Thompson, this next question goes to you, and it'll probably be our last question before our closing statements. What needs to be done to bring a polarized society back together to work for the common good?
Wow, that's a heavy question. I'll do my best. Luckily, this format that we have is very dissimilar to. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Oh, luckily, this format is very dissimilar to the format that we got to see last night in the presidential debate. That was a great example of how polarized our communities all are. My response to that question is we need to open our ears. We need to listen. We need to be empathetic. We need to be advocates for those that need advocates. Those are the things that will bring a community together. Fighting, arguing, disagreeing about everything is not going to bring us together. We need to have compassion and empathy for others to bring the community together. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Mr. Ocholi, your answer, please.
I'm sorry, I got dropped and I didn't hear the question. Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Not a problem. What needs to be done to bring a polarized society back together to work for the common good?
Oh, thank you for that question. As we all know, we come from all different walks of background and we have different ideologies driving us. But again, we have to coexist as human beings to do things that are that can make us to all live together on this planet. Again, this planet is all that we have, right? Until they find a way for us to go to somewhere like Mars or for right now, but we are all that we have. And all we need to do is communicate and continue to work and dialogue and continue to discuss and continue to compromise where we need to do what we need to do, because again, at the end of the day, it's us just making our environment better and a place that we can all kind of come together as a community, as a city, and continue to champion what we do to make this environment better for us and our kids and the future of this city. I'm very open. I'm someone who is always open to discussing. I'm always open to dialoguing. I'm always looking for a way to making things work for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Buehner, your answer, please.
I've been involved in public service for many, many years, whether it's chairing my neighborhood association, being involved in a planning commission, advocating for particular policy changes, and obviously being a city councilor. And I've learned that by getting people to stop and think there's really nothing partisan about garbage or police. Well, police is not a good example in this situation, but streets, all of the services that cities provide, they are nonpartisan services. It's not a Republican street or a Democratic street. It is an American street. And if we can help get people to back off of that particular perspective, it helps so much to depolarize.
And Ms. Mohr, you have the last word on this one.
Thank you. It's all about relationship building. It's all about getting to know one another and talking more about our differences or our similarities than our differences. It's okay to have difficult conversations. A lot of our society has over the past 20, 30, 40 years has been trained to not bring up difficult conversations. And I think that we're at a time now that it's okay, again, to talk to our neighbors about things we may not agree on and see where the similarities lie. It's possible that we won't all care for our neighbors, but it's still okay for us to have conversations. The more that we know about each other, the more of an understanding we can have about our community as a whole. And I, for one, would love to invite anyone to contact me and have a conversation with me about your life, your favorite recipes, or even a joke.
We can do that. Thank you very much. And thank you all for your civility tonight. It's really been refreshing to see it, and your answers have been great. It's time now for your closing statements, and we will begin with Mr. Ocholi. 2 minutes for your closing statement, sir.
All right. Again, I just want to thank you, Mayor Ken, and the city staff and everyone behind the scenes to making this possible for us to be able to reach out to the community today. And again, thank you to my fellow candidates here. I appreciate us all stepping up to take on this challenge. And I'm very excited about the opportunity to continue on all the great achievements that we've achieved together as a great city council, and working with the city staff, the community, the other stakeholders that we have, the state, the federal, and everyone else that has helped us as a city. And I'm very proud of all our achievement. And again, all that I've mentioned earlier, to say experiences are what I bring to the table, and I look forward to the opportunity to continue working. I bring the enthusiasm, I bring the drive, I bring that team player attitude to continue working with this group. And I look forward to the opportunity to continue serving as we continue to grow, as we continue to communicate, as we continue to involve the community, as we continue to reach out to our other fellow cities around to see what we can do to all work together and build this future for our city. I know we're on a great path here to achieving a lot, and I want to be part of that success story, and I want to continue to be part of that public servant. Like I've said all my life, I've always looked for opportunities where I can serve, and I've always stepped forward to be like the first one to say, I would like to do it. I put my hand up to want to do it. So I look forward to the opportunity, and I'm really humble, and I really appreciate what is going to go into this election. Please go out there and voice your opinion, cast your votes. And again, thank you, and good luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ocholi. Ms. Buehner, your 2-minute closing statement, please.
Well, I would like to remind voters to vote, as has been stated. But I also would like to remind voters how important it is to be part of a wonderful community like King City. And it reminds me of the years that I spent on the board for the Portland Baroque Orchestra, where if one instrument was missing from the orchestra, the music didn't sound right. So we need all of our residents to participate in this process to help us make a wonderful community in the future. Thank you.
You've got another minute and 18 seconds if you'd like to use it.
Well, I will say thank you to all of the staff at Tualatin Valley Cable TV, and to the city staff, and to Mayor Ken, and to my fellow candidates. I've had a wonderful time participating in this process, and I look forward to continuing to represent you on the City Council. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Buehner. We appreciate that. And Ms. Mohr, your 2-minute closing statement, please.
I unmuted. Thank you. It has been a pleasure to be here this evening with my fellow candidates. When I first moved to King City about 10 years ago, I'm pretty sure the first city council election didn't even have enough candidates to fill the open seats. I'm pretty sure that there were some requests out to the community. Does anybody want to volunteer to be on the city council? And so we've come a long way just in that short time. I'm so happy that I've been a part of it and that I've been able to see the growth in our city. And we have so many people walking around our community, riding bikes, children that are able to play on our sidewalks. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm hoping to be elected to the city council so that I can help continue that growth in our city. I want to make sure that our city remains a wonderful place for families, a multi-generational city to live in. and that we are able to provide services for everyone. I'd like to help keep our businesses here, and I'd like to help bring new businesses to the city. I also agree that our police officers and our city staff are absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy to live in a city where I know some of the police officers, and I know our city staff, and everyone is so approachable and friendly. It's a really good feeling. So if you would like to know more about me, you can hop on to katemohr.org and check out my very simple website there. But that's also how you can contact me if you have any questions or would like to chat. Thank you very much to everyone who participated tonight, and I am very happy to be a part of it.
Thank you, Ms. Mohr. Appreciate that. Ms. Thompson, the last 2 minutes goes to you.
There I am. Hello. Just want to make sure I was unmuted. So thank you for giving, thanks. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our views with you tonight.
Unmute.
Like I mentioned earlier, please vote. Vote early. The deadline to register to vote in Oregon is 2 weeks from today, August 13th. So make sure that your current address is on your voter registration. And then I wanted to say thank you to Mayor Gibson, to Eric Schmidt, our moderator, and to the city staff for coordinating tonight's forum. I'd also like to thank my fellow candidates for wanting to serve our city. As you may know, King City councilors are volunteers, so the time that councilors devote to serving is unpaid. So I just want to say thank you very much to Gretchen, Smart, and Kate for wanting to serve our community. It is a really important job. And not many people always want to do that, as Kate mentioned earlier. It sounds like it was a challenge to find people that wanted to serve King City in years past. So I'm thrilled that there are 4 candidates that would like to fill, unfortunately, only 3 seats. But it's great to see so many people involved, wanting to be involved in the community and to serve our city. Because even though we're a small city, we're a great city and we're a mighty city, and there's a lot ahead of us, and it's going to take a good team to get us to the finish line. So again, thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for everyone that put this together. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. And please, whatever you do, vote. It doesn't matter, in my perspective, who you vote for. Just use your right to vote and get that ballot either into the drop box at King City Hall or in your mailbox. I think they're asking you to vote as early as possible this year. Thanks so much.
And thank you, Ms. Thompson. We really appreciate it. And to all of the candidates, Shawna Thompson, Smart Ocholi, Gretchen Buehner, and Kate Mohr, I sincerely appreciate your demeanor tonight and your willingness to participate in this. My virtual thanks to Mayor Gibson. I enjoyed talking with him on the phone, getting this prepared. And to Ronnie at city staff, man, that guy really knows how to do this stuff. You got to give him a raise. That's all I'm telling you there. So the Washington County Elections Department will be mailing out ballots on October the 14th. And I really, really hope that anyone who is watching this forum tonight will fill out their ballot and return it as soon as possible. But definitely return that ballot before 8 p.m. on November 3rd, 2020. The earlier your ballot goes in, the faster we're going to know what the results are. Again, thank you to Mayor Gibson, his staff at the City Hall, the mayor, the council, and the candidates for City Council. Good night, King City.